This is a Samsung Galaxy Ace 2X. And if you remember, I had replaced it, maybe a year ago with this iPhone 3GS. And I was impressed with the quality of the 3GS over the Samsung. Now, I would have kept the 3GS for many, many, many more years. And I am going to still keep this around. But I have grown increasingly frustrated with my cellular provider. I was tired of their antics with sending me text messages at, about 4:30 in the morning on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Sunday, asking me to add data to my current phone plan, which I could not afford from them because their data plans are horrendously expensive. So I dumped them. For a couple months now, I've had this on a different provider. This is actually an iPhone 5S. Yes, I know. A lot of you are probably going to be like, oh, why didn't you go get an Android? Because this was free, with a little bit of a fee extra added on to the contract for a couple of months, but I can handle that. I figured that in the face of all the other free Android options, this was probably better because I didn't really like any of the free Android options. They all seemed like crap. You see, the problem with Android is if you don't get a flagship device, you end up with a pile of shite. This is not a flagship device. It looks like a flagship device. It's an S3 Mini, I believe is what they call it. But this has not received the kind of support that it probably should have. It's still stuck on Android 4.0. It's slow, and it just has not aged very well. This, on the other hand, has aged very, very, very well. I would not buy a brand new Apple device. They're just way too damn expensive. And I have a new provider who is not nearly as oppressive when it comes down to, you need to get this on your bill. There's the new phone. I have to say, after a week, or actually it's been a couple weeks, actually it's been a couple months even, I didn't really get down to this when I probably should have. I have to say the only thing I miss about the 3GS is the battery life. I could get a week out of this, whereas I can barely get a day out of this. Maybe it's because I'm using it for a little bit more, now that it's a little bit more modern, and I can use it to replace even this iPod, because this iPod is it's kind of long in the tooth as well. It had a little bit of issue trying to get started making this video even. It's just kind of slow. Maybe it just needs to be refreshed or something. I don't know. I still think that even if I didn't use it more than I used that one, I'd probably only maybe be able to get 3 or 4 days. Because I'm not the kind of person who will sit and charge their phone every single night. The way I see it, I should be able to just let it sit on its own. And I was doing that with the 3GS. I would only plug it in once a week. Whereas this, you need to have it plugged in almost all the time, which is sort of annoying. I guess it defeats the purpose of a battery, you know? But other than that, I think it's pretty well been an upgrade, and I do like it. So let's go ahead and have some video comparisons, shall we? Okay, here is the iPhone 3GS. This is just a quick little test. Decent lighting conditions. I have both room lights on. You can get a look at some of the things. I'm not sure if this has focus or not. Maybe rudimentary focus. I just stepped in something that was a little wet. I think I knocked over a drink canister at some point, so that's going to be dealt with. But here is a low light test. Alright, here is the iPhone 5S. Same conditions. I suppose it's probably cheating by utilizing the focus feature, because I don't believe the 3GS has focus. I'm actually shooting this before shooting the 3GS portion. You move to somewhere of reduced brightness,
each a day. And if you spot a traffic problem, star 333 on your Rogers wireless phone. From the 1310 newsroom, that's your KISS 105.3 Time Saver Traffic. I'm Jonathan McGill.
Today's best music is CISSF.
Your deal-for-deal battle for your business. What will it take for you to choose between these two award-winning trucks? Discounted prices by thousands of dollars. Unmatched financing. Unbelievable trade-in values. Uncompromising deals. Regardless, the real winner is you. The only rule about Truck Challenge is that you don't walk away from Truck Challenge. Chevy...
Next station, Carlton. Prochaine station, Carlton. Carlton Station. Station Carlton. Next station, Carlin. Prochaine station, Carlin. Carling Station. Station Carling.
Alright, here is the S3 Mini in complete darkness. Unfortunately, the 3GS does not have a light, so this is the closest comparison I can do. And this is one of my old phones, so that much is pretty clear. Doesn't seem to do too bad of a job here. Seems to be washing out the segments on that, though. It might be the screen of the phone. The screen on this thing is not that great. Alright, here is a test of the iPhone 5S Lite. This is what it looks like. Here we go. There's a side-by-side. There's a light to look at. Not sure if both of them have a light. It's there. Walk in here. There's light. You may be wondering, oh, where did the vacuum go? Well, it's inside now. I decided that it's in suitable enough condition that I can bring it inside. So, here we go. Just put this in. I'm going to edit this, so it won't matter. Look at that. I can even do it one-handed. Don't hit the car. Actually, that's probably a little too close to the car. So I'll move it over a bit. Oops. Okay. Here it is in complete black. I thought that was open for a minute, the gate, but it's not. Okay, cool. I think we're good. Alright, here's some more example footage from the 3GS. Not the best lighting conditions. I've only got two 60-watt LEDs on right now. Here's the Eureka vacuum cleaner, in case you were wondering. It's a waiting time for me to work on it. And there are other things that are waiting time for me to work on. There's a lot of junk in here. I got this recently. They'll have its own video. There's this. I'm not going to make a video about this. It's a KVM switch. It's actually kind of a piece of junk when it comes down to KVM switches. But I figure it'll come in handy, and I effectively paid $7.99 for this and this combined. The cables are all right here. It comes with all the cables. It doesn't need power, from what I can tell, which is odd. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, but yeah, I'm not quite sure how that works out if it doesn't require power input. But it's here, so I guess there's one thing. What else? Other things in here. This is only really test footage, so I guess that's probably all I can think of to say for now, anyways. Well, this particular video series is taking longer than I expected, I'll tell you that much. But we're here. I have no idea. No, that's the right time, or thereabouts. Just a little bit past 9:46 on a Sunday. It was 94 degrees outside today. Okay, there's a lot of videos I need to edit, which I'm getting down to working right now, so including this one. Unfortunately, I was forced to take my clock out of the bathroom. I wasn't allowed to have it there, so this is going to have to find somewhere else to be. I don't know why it wasn't allowed to be in there, because really there's no reason why it can't be in there. It was perfectly fine. Just had it sitting right here, but nope, I guess that's not allowed. One other thing I can tell you right off the bat is that, typical of all iDevices, really, it's great when there's enough lighting. Like you can see, I've got a pair of 60-watt 60-watt LED bulbs here. But when I start to get into areas where there's a lot less light, well, things start to really take a hit. And it's like that with both cameras, the old and the new, as you can probably, you either will see or will have seen. I haven't decided which order I'm going to do these in yet. But anyways, there you can see the CDs in the CD tower. I think you can read most of those. It might be even that this screen doesn't render all of the details. That's also a possibility. That stuff, for the most part, has got to go back into the closet. I might do that right now, too. Well, there really isn't much that I can think of to say that I haven't already said, so I guess I'm going to conclude this test footage. You can get an idea as to what the 3GS looks like. I'm being overrun with clocks. Yeah, I've got a few too many of them. Check that out. That thing is freaking cute. It's not much closer to the picture. Here's some more random test footage. This is gonna still need work. So I'm trying to mix the clips up a little bit. So I'm just gonna look at some things. Doesn't really do that well in the light. This is a little overgrown. It's probably gonna have to get fixed. Stake it up or something because it looks like it's falling down. But anyways, I'm very impressed that this has not fallen apart yet. Holy crap, that's bad. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. The animal was there. You could probably see some of its leavings. But it was there for a bit, and apparently it hasn't come back. And it's just digging in the back. This does do better when there's natural light, but when there's no natural light and the lighting's not the best, it really just isn't that great. I have to say I like the 3GS camera more than I like this one. But of course this is HD, so... Like I said, I'm trying to mix the clips up a little bit. Try and get some, a wide range of video views going here. I'm not sure when this one's going to get uploaded. But I'm not done yet. You can see it. Cool. Hope that'll probably be open at some point. We need to get a thermometer for the water. So that'll have to get done at some point. And that, outside I can't think of anything else to say. I'm going to tell you something else. You can really see the lack of low light sensitivity when you go from picture to video mode. You can really see it. Again, just more random looking at things. For the hell of looking at things. So the footage isn't going to be nearly as completed as I was hoping because for whatever reason I can't seem to get this to come on and I've got no sunlight. I have waited for the better part of half an hour with that thing on the charger for it to come on. It hasn't come on. I think we find that ridiculous. I'm very glad that these new devices don't have that ridiculous BS about how you can't turn them on unless they've got 50% of the battery. Because I guarantee you that's how much it's going to charge itself up to. It's going to charge itself up to 50%. It's just ridiculous. And as you can see, like I said, the low light sensitivity on this is not that great. Oh well, I guess you could say. My footage is unfortunately not going to be the most complete thing in the world, and I wanted to have this thing out, do some more outside stuff with it, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Unless I can get it to charge in the next, I don't know. It's about 9:20 now, 10 minutes? I can get it to come on in 10 minutes? Maybe. Here's more. with light tests. Probably asking for this. I'm back here when it's so dark out. So I'm going to share something with all of you. I think somebody tried to get in here. Because when I go here this morning, or this afternoon, this piece here was pulled all the way out. And this plexiglass thing here was on the ground. Nothing was taken, fortunately, but I think I'm going to need to probably maybe get some planks and put some planks over these windows. Actually, that might not even work because of just how crappy the shape of the windows is. I mean, look at that. If we're not going to take it down, it's going to take itself down. I think. 15 years later, still works. Try saying that about your modern efficient energy star appliances. Alright, I think that's pretty good for a test. Ooh. Sweaty. Okay, I would say the low light sensitivity on this is a little better, actually, than the 3GS's. I think I said earlier that it wasn't, but looking at it's either the low light sensitivity is better or the display brightness is better. I think maybe I'm leaning towards display brightness now, because I can see in here more than I could see with the 3GS. Especially that laundry basket over there and the CDs. And also even a little bit of the floor. It's showing up better. It's still not great. I still get far better low light sensitivity out of a real camcorder, but if you're just comparing the two phones, this one's easily better, but I think that you'd expect that. Okay, and I think that'll pretty much do it for the test footage for the 5S. So you can draw your own conclusions, but I think I've drawn mine. It's much better than the 3GS was, and I think that it will suit me a little bit more for some more time to come. I'll probably have this phone for, I'd like to say 10 years or so, but I don't know if it's going to last that long. The battery life, I'd have to say, really does leave a little bit to be desired. But what are you going to do? I use it more often anyways. So.